Welcome to Vet Chalk. Exposing how veterans get screwed. By Eric Lee Hughes, accredited claims agent. Previously on Vet Chalk. Queen Elizabeth I created the pro-veteran canon and the Pilgrims brought it with them from England. The Department of Veterans Affairs traces its founding to the colonial period and embraces the pro-veteran canon in theory. But will the newly formed United States of America keep up the Queen's promise? Veterans' claims and the foundation of our country. The Declaration of Independence announced our freedom from England. We celebrate it every year with fireworks on July 4th. But did you know? The United States is on its second government? Did you know the first one failed? Did you know it failed because of veterans? The Articles of Confederation. The drafting of our first national government began immediately after the Declaration of Independence was signed. It was ratified on November 17, 1777. The Articles of Confederation could be summed up as: all the states are independent countries, we will all work together, but only if we want to. To make a very long story short, war is expensive. The Articles of Confederation had many flaws, but the most serious flaw was the inability of Congress to raise revenue through taxation. Instead, Congress allocated funds to fight the war, and each state was supposed to voluntarily contribute to the war effort from their own coffers. Small states voted for expenses they couldn't afford. The big states refused to pay for those items they didn't vote for. It was a royal mess. So, Congress did the only thing it could do. Congress printed money it didn't have. The money Congress printed was called colonials. They were basically IOUs folks could trade in for gold and silver money at a later date. These colonials were used to pay for supplies, ammunition, and soldiers' salaries. Well, for those soldiers who got paid, many didn't. But because the colonies were not paying taxes, Congress had not gold or silver to back up the IOUs. They became worthless. By the end of the Revolution, speculators were buying colonials for thousands less than the face value, hoping that one day Congress would have real money. Veterans sold their colonials as massive losses just to feed their families. The veterans became restless. After the English surrender at Yorktown, many colonial officers water in the garrison in Newburgh, New York. They were still waiting to be paid. Overthrow Congress in a military coup and install George Washington as king. Then use the new military dictatorship to fill through own pockets. Thankfully, George Washington refused to participate and instead calmed everyone's nerves. Well, everyone was calm but Congress. But it happened again. George Washington's speech at Newburgh calmed the officers, but not the enlisted soldiers. This time, it wasn't just plans, the violence was acted upon. An insurgency led by Daniel Shea became widespread. Again, the issue was the lack of military pay, and the worthless paper the soldiers were given for IOUs. The army had to be mobilized to put down Shea's rebellion. Daniel Shea's men didn't capitulate until after an artillery bombardment. In direct response to facing two attempts to overthrow Congress, a convention to address the issue was called. This morphed into the Constitutional Convention and produced the government we have today. To learn how veterans' claims is intertwined with the U.S. Constitution, tune into Vet Chalk. Exposing how veterans get screwed. Please like and subscribe.